frustrating. It's not that user friendly.
No, it's not. So you do admin, and then you do reporting and custom reports, and then I have several, but I started a new one that I just called American Literature. And so then I go to
But I have to make my own.
The easiest way to get, if you're only wanting to look at American Lit, if you're only wanting to look at 8th grade, that's probably the easiest way to do it. Now, I'm probably only attached to Spalding, so I probably couldn't see every other school's stuff, but I would imagine you can see everything. So I create, like, if I go back here, this is my old version of custom reports. So I have some, so for example, RCD, this is 2020. So I just added all these tests in there, and then it has a report of all of these things. So this is fall. That was the fall 2021 for English, all English classes.
Okay, so go back to that report right quick. Let me see that. So on that, you can see fall.
Well, let me do this one, and this will make more sense because this is current. So here's my report, and I'm going to add assessments to it. And so then I'll do, and the hard part is sometimes finding the right thing that types in there. I think this will work. Okay, so this pulls up 19 and 20 tests, so that's not good.
I think I saw it in there as AMER, LI, and then dash space lit.
I think you're probably right. 1920. Good gracious. Okay, let's try.
I think it said AMER space LIT.
19. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Okay, AMERLIT. Let's try that. No. Okay, so we'll do it the old way. That's one of the frustrating things is it does sometimes you have to.
I got it pulled up in an overview. Let's see how it's labeled. Well, I just froze up, so it's trying to load.
Well, that kind of takes the fun out of things.
Oh, it went to math.
Okay, so let's try again. We'll just go with lit fall. 1920, 1819. All right, so let's go. Let's just try this language arts. Language arts.
It says Mason AMLIT first spring.
Okay.
And AMLIT is together, AM and capital LIT.
That may be her actual.
That's her trackers, I guess.
That's her tracker, yeah.
And I need like.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. I got it. These are spring, and at this point, they're going to be testing. Their unit 2 will be sometime before spring break, so they'll be tested next week on unit 2 for the spring. But here's post for the spring, and then I just got to find. I'm assuming that these are going to be fall. Make sure that was really American Lit. I just added up. Okay. So then post unit 3 spring. Okay.
Yeah, like if I could compare unit 1 and unit 1 and unit 2, that'd be great.
So then we're going to do
this program is not user friendly.
It's not. Post unit 1 American Lit. I think this is going to be the right one. And then post unit 2 American Lit and post unit 3 American Lit. Okay, so then close. All right. If they've archived their trackers, that's another issue. So let me go. I can fix that though. Because we do ask them to archive. This is post test spring. That's the unit 1 spring post test here, and this should be the fall tests that I'm getting ready to put some stuff in here. So we're going to include archive students there. And save changes. Okay. So this is fall and this is spring.
So it does look better.
No, yeah,
Well,
spring looks better than fall. Yes, ma'am. More blues and greens and less reds and yellows.
okay. That's unit 1. That's probably all you have to compare because you said they hadn't done
Right.
unit 2 yet.
Right. But what I can do for your sake, and I think I can share this with you, but what I can do is I can go ahead and fix this up for the other 2 tests so that when if somebody went in today and took the spring test because they missed it and they retook it, it would add their score to this report automatically and it would always update. So what I usually did is I would go set them up early in the year. And so they were already set up, even if the kids hadn't taken the test at that point. But then when the kids take the test, as long as the trackers are set up, it just dumps them in there and you don't have to make the report every single time.
Okay.
So this will be the same way. And that's fall. And then this will be fall also. And I'll just have to, because usually in the springtime, what ends up happening is we ask the teachers to archive them just to get the clutter out of the way, and then it'll pull it out of the archives.
Right.
So that's just what it is. So like if I were to, I can print this. If I printed it, I think it gives you a little more detail even. So it gives you the breakdown of percentages up here. And so this one would be spring is obviously labeled spring, and then fall. Oh, you can't see what I see. But anyway, it'll tell you'll see the full test name when it prints out. So
gotcha.
You can see that the top one is spring and the bottom one will be fall.
Okay.
So and so you should be able to, I don't think I can see it because I'm only attached to Spalding, but I would imagine you could just do that. So it saves it. So it's going to always be there. So
when you hit print, you can change it to save as a PDF. Can you send it to me?
Yeah, sure can.
Okay.
Yeah, I can do that. And yep, it's there. I'll drop it to you in just a second.
So definitely a little bit of a change.
Yeah. Well, we were a little bit more settled in the spring. We changed to a little more veteran teachers teaching it, but then one of our American Lit teachers in the fall was Amy Evans, who didn't come back. So we were kind of, shuffling around a little bit too. So a little more continuity for this year, for the spring anyway. So
I was just curious if it was making a difference.
Yeah,
and sometimes we think it will, and then it don't. You just don't.
Yeah, it may bear itself out too, and we'll see what the milestones look like, which will be a little more truth and a little more proof, I guess, for lack of a better word. But
how does USA Test Prep look? Are they using USA Test Prep in the American Lit?
They're using a good bit, and then the American Lit Swags have switched to the they're using that FEV Tutors thing, and they seem to be, no matter how much you're riding some kids, they don't want to do it. But then there's a girl that I walked class this morning. She was telling me, she said, I really like the tutors are really nice, and they do engage and interact with you, and they provide you with good information. She said, I'm doing pretty well in the class, so the questions seem a little easy to me. But I said, you got to remember, not everybody's doing well in the class. And I said, or pays attention. So,
well, that's good.
They're using American Lit, and we've worked to make sure that their kind of weekly quick checks have those technology enhanced questions like we talked about, to make sure they're getting some of that drag and drop or pull to answers and those kind of things. And, they're using those as well. So seems to be, and we're doing, the retests are done in USA Test Prep also. So that helps.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm going to try to play with this custom reports and see
Okay.
if I can get 8th grade.
Okay.
I'm really curious because we pushed in kind of hard on the 8th grade.
Hmm.
So, you know,
Let me see. Let me see if I can see it. I mean, I think I can see the test. I just don't know if I can see um, all of. Like, I don't know if I can. I probably can't pull up individual data because they're not. Um, okay, so here's unit 3 post test, which would be about. That's the retake. And you've. Like you can see, I don't think it's going to let me see anything because I don't have access to, I don't have access because I can only see Spalding. I can only see Spalding stuff. So,
okay.
but you should be able to, you would be able to see it. And, as long as they've called them what you think you call them,
Right.
or what they're supposed to be, as long as they haven't gone and made a copy of the test and stuck it in their tracker in an extra way or something like that, then you should be able to pull them up just by whatever those standard names are.
Let me ask you this. So let's just say we pushed in on a standard like site textual evidence. I can't remember, like RL.
RL1 is evidence to support
Yes.
conclusions or something like that.
Yeah. So I would just, is there a way? So that's kind of in every unit in middle school. It's probably that way in high school too, maybe.
Sure.
But so would I be able to look specifically at a standard?
You could. Now the best way to that might be, let me see.
So I could see from August.
Okay, here we go.
On the standard.
Let's look at, I'm going to try this, and I think this may be the best way. So spring, I'm going to do spring, and then I'm going to do, I'm going to go back into one of those American Lit tests. Okay, so RCD Unit 1. I don't know if I can get here for them. Okay, so there's
the standard.
There's here are the standards, but I can also, I think I may have to do it going in. Okay, so I'm gonna do something different. Hang on. I'm gonna try not to go too far. So we'll just we'll go with Mindy. I'm gonna log in as her. So if I go to her tracker, one of these trackers, of course, it's going to freeze up.
Yeah, of course. Let me tell Lashanda I'll call her back.
Okay.
Hey, I'm on a Google Meet with Daniel trying to help me with Mastery Connect. Can I call you back just a little bit? All right, doll. You okay? Everything good? Okay. All right. Thank you. Bye. I just wanted to check on her. She's taking over Cowan Road Middle till the end of the year.
Oh yeah. I am trying to think the easiest way to get there. Let me think about it for a second. Let's see. Okay, let me get out of being Mindy. Okay,
there is right there.
Here we go.
Somewhere.
Here we go. So this is the overview. So if you go to reporting and do overview, I should be able to, as it loads. Okay, that's going to pull math. So let's do language arts, apply the filters. Okay. All right. Of course, it never is fast when you need it to be fast.
Of course it's not.
So
this is the one I went to, and up there where it says overview, I changed that to standard.
So you should, there's somewhere in here. Okay,
look on that.
There you go, right over here.
Okay.
And you do standard. So you can do probably for either RL1 and RI1 is what you would see, what you would get, what you wanted to see if they're on. So you would be able to see, and actually RL1 hadn't even been on, wasn't on the Unit 1 test. I went on a test in American Lit.
Yeah.
But then you should be able to, RI1 might be on there. RI1 might be on there. No, wasn't on the English one. Wasn't on that one. It may be in another grade.
Okay.
But you would be able, you just click the standard, whatever that standard was. Well, let's just do one that I know was on there.
Candace called me. Candace Stedman. Can't talk right now.
So I know this was okay. There's got to be something that we can do here. Okay, so what is this? Language.
When I went to view over there, and where it says overview, see that? I changed that to standard.
Okay.
It gave me an option.
See, I don't get that option. I get overview and timeline is all I get.
And I had overview, timeline, and standard. So I was able to see like what you saw a while ago where it showed all the standards.
Yeah. Well, that's probably because you can see more than one school, and I can only see one school. That's what it is. Gotcha. So you can see that, and you would be able to go in to see. I mean, now another way to do it, that I would be able to, that I can do that, or that I would do that you probably wouldn't have to do because you can see everybody. But I can go in as Mindy, pull up one of her trackers. If it does it relatively quickly.
But I would have to look at each one of her classes.
No, I don't think you would. I think once you get in there, so like, okay, this standard is, okay, so this is W1. Okay, that's going to be what the standard actually is. So if I click on it, this one was on the spring post-test. So I should be able to, at some point, somewhere in here, and it may have been the other way, whatever's been on the test. This is every student. Okay. So on this test, I can look at, and I think I can do mastery by standard. Now, this would be every teacher on this test.
Yeah, that would be okay.
But then you wouldn't, I mean, you'd have to do it for every school if you did it that way. I would imagine you've got, if you can view by standard, you can probably see everybody's with a click of one button. So this is, okay, so RI2, which is write a summary or theme. This is every teacher in our school where they did. So, you know, a few that didn't take it or came in late, mostly green and blue, proficient and distinguished on that test, on that standard.
Standard, okay.
So,
all right.
And then if you wanted to, I mean, if you wanted to say, hey, such and such is doing this and such is doing that, there is a teacher comparison. And you can see, you know, who fell in what categories and those kind of things in terms of proficient and distinguished and developing and those kinds of things.
Is the teal color the proficient?
Teal is Mindy Mason, greenish is Dr. Godat, and reddish is Ms. Jones.
I see. So, I see. Wow. Okay.
So, you know, and I think Mason and Godat both have an honors class. And then Jones does not. Her AP kids will be taking the milestones, but they, you know, they may not have been in this group. So
yeah, they're in that. She has a lot of co-teach classes. I saw some of her. She had a couple classes that looked okay, but she had some that didn't. Of course, they were co-teach. And